We pull no punches. Press the button, subscribe.
Fight fans, welcome. A monster heavyweight clash is happening this weekend, taking place at the O2 Arena, 25th of October, live on DAZN. And I'm delighted to be joined by Red Corner Boxing. First of all, Mr. Neutral, the Scottish boxing fanatic. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, Darren. Glad to be here, mate.
Great to get you back on again. And you, Jams, I hope you're well too.
I'm really good, Darren, mate. It's great to be back on Search Out a Lot of Boxing, mate. Always
Great.
a pleasure.
Yeah, great. Thanks for coming on. It's great to get you back on and hopefully glitch-free so we can talk about the topics of Saturday night. Are we going to get a shock on Saturday? We're going to be breaking the fight down. We're going to be giving our analysis and we're going to be giving our fight predictions, so stick around. So first of all, Joseph Parker, WBO interim champion versus Fabio Wardley, WBA interim champion. The winners become WBO mandatory to fight Usyk. There's been lots of talking points about this fight, lots of disgruntled boxing fans. To put it bluntly, 25 quid on pay-per-view is a rather of a shocker for me. I'm interested to get you guys' opinions. I haven't really heard, we haven't discussed anything before we come on. First of all, I'll come to you, Mr. Neutral. What's your opinion on this? Is this not just a pay-per-view, but a £25 pay-per-view?
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. And the fact that Lewis Edmondson has pulled out as well, and Steve Woodall is coming and taking away a title fight. Shocking.
And pulling up a super middleweight up to light heather.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's all they could get, unfortunately. But, you know, Lewis Edmondson was the light heavyweight British titleist. So that's taking that opportunity away from Ezra Taylor, and his promoters or his management team will have to come up with Steve Woodall.
So, to put it bluntly, shocking.
Shocking.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I mean, when we had the Ezra Taylor, the Lewis Edmondson Ezra Taylor fight, that obviously was the chief support. That it wasn't a pay-per-view as such still, but there still was a bit of needle in that fight. It was a fight we've been waiting a good while for. It was building up well. They've documented it very well on the social media channels for Queensbury. And then that's fell through. Yeah, I mean, I personally, I get why it is pay-per-view for what they've paid for fighters, what they've paid for the arena. But I personally think they could bite the bullet on this one and not put it on pay-per-view, in all honesty. I mean, Jams, what's your opinion, mate?
Yeah, pretty similar to your guys, man. £25 too much. With the Louis Edmondson against Ezra Cannon Taylor British title fight, it made it a bit more bearable, made it a bit more understandable. You know, he's had to pay Joe Parker a lot, of course. Fabio Wardley's not doing this for free, we all know. The O2 Arena's not cheap. You know, they've got to make the money back somehow, but why not make it a $9.99 or $14.99 pay-per-view? Because come on now, what we got? We got an Albanian against a Cameroonian. He's now going to be co-main. You got Taylor now fighting a super middleweight who's lost to Simpson, to Steve Rolls. You know, it's not a £25 pay-per-view card, mate. You know, all praise to Queensbury. They put some great shows on, and the main event is very much worth a watch. But not for £25, mate. I'm even struggling whether I'm even going to do the watch-along, to be honest, at that cost.
I mean,
Really?
That's some of the problem, Darren, is Queensbury. They've been on such a magnificent run now from 2024, since 5v5 a matchroom to the present point, and they are killing it. But what they're doing, they're also taking advantage of the fans now, you know, with these PPV events. You know, Tucker's supposed to have said that there'll be no more PPV events. Lo and behold, there's PPV events.
November 22nd is now pay-per-view. When he promised that's
There
when
you
the no
go.
pay-per-views would start. The Night of Champions, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Devin
And
Hayes,
then on
Brian
top of
Norman,
that-
Benavides.
Yeah, then top of that, afterwards, you're going to be paying a premium on your DAZN account to get all the PPVs for the coming year.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's getting crazy out there.
Yeah, it is. It's getting far too much. I mean, I actually was going to do a show on the pay-per-view thing. I was getting that pissed off with it myself, but I've bit the bullet with it all and thought, I'm just going to leave it at that, because I'm seeing more and more disgruntled boxing fans on social media with the actual amount of pay-per-views, what pay-per-views are costing, with this being put forward, this extra subscription you're going to have. But this is a shocker. It really, really is. And obviously, listening to you two guys, exactly the same feelings as me as well. But
Absolutely.
getting onto the fight itself, the general theory is Fabio Wardley has that big punch, that equaliser, a bit like the old Deontay Wilder. Wardley can be getting outboxed like he was against Justice Uni, and he found that shot. He is undefeated as well. Everything he's done so far has worked for him. First of all, Jams, I'll come to you. Do you agree with that Fabio Wardley is sort of a one-trick pony, or do you think he has more in his arsenal now?
I wouldn't call him a one-trick pony, mate, because he went the 10 rounds with Fraser Clark in the first fight. He was an Olympian heavyweight boxer. So I'm definitely not going to say he's a one-trick pony. But it is his saving grace. It is what he leans on when he's losing, like against Justice Huni, as you pointed out. It's not just that's all he's got, but he's going to be outboxed by Parker, I believe, in this fight. And he's going to be relying on that haymaker to make the difference. Whether he can do that or not is a different story, mate.
What's your opinion on it, Mr. Neutral?
Well, let me tell you this.
No fight predictions yet, by the way.
Oh, all right. So, what you want me to? Sorry, I was so focused.
I was just saying about like the way we the theory is Wardley is sort of a puncher, maybe like an old Deontay Wilder one-trick pony as such. Do you believe there's more to his arsenal than that?
Of course there is. Of course there is. Look, the guy, he's only been the distance twice. Okay, the first time was his debut over 4 rounds, and the last time was his last fight with Fraser Clark, and it was 12 rounds. Sorry, Jams.
Yeah, 12. Sorry, yeah, I said 10, didn't I? My bad.
And that was the only worry for me, whether he'd go the distance. He's proved that. He's done a 12, he's done a 10 with Justice Huni, got him out of there. I don't think he's just a one-trick pony. The problem is, because he had 16 knockouts in a row, nobody took him past round 6 in that time. He's not had the chance to hone the skills like he has in the last few fights. Fraser Clark, that 12-rounder going with him was brilliant. That did a lot for him. David Adelaide took him 7 rounds. He's catching up, honing his skills. We all know where he come from. I think he's catching Parker at the right time. So if this was it, this could be a hit for him.
Really interesting. So both fighters are banging form. I mean, the turnaround of Joseph Parker under Andy Lee has been ridiculous, really. Wins over Deontay Wilder, Zhilai Zhang, Martin Bakole, albeit Martin Bakole was at very, very short notice. Parker really should be fighting Usyk now, but Usyk is injured. This is a very dangerous risk for his position here. The only thing I can say is from Joseph Parker is, I saw an interview with him the other week, and they said about him fighting Usyk. He said, I'm not bothered if it's Usyk. I'm not bothered who I'm fighting. I think when you're chasing the titles, the undisputed title fight, I think your philosophy should be a little bit different. I admire the way he is, gets in the ring, fights anyone, but I think he should be pissed off that he's not fighting Usyk now. But I suppose you're not going to really say that in an interview. But as I said, very dangerous risk this is for the position he's in. What do you think, Neutral? Don't you think this is a huge risk he's taking here?
Oh, the risk is equal. They're both interim champions. This is the thing. The WBA champ, Fabio Wardley's got just as much to lose as Joseph Parker. It's unfortunate that Joseph Parker had to wait on the Usyk rematch with Dubois. On the hindsight, people will say, yeah, Dubois didn't last that long. Maybe they should have given Joseph Parker his shot. But it's unfortunate that didn't happen. He'll get his chance. But again, he didn't have to take this fight. He could have waited out. We could waited out for Usyk. Usyk said he's going to fight on until 2020. He's guaranteed a spot at him. So he's took this hard fight, big risk, fair play to him, big
Yep.
fair play to him. And if he can get an unbeaten Fabio Wardley onto his resume leading up to a Usyk fight, whew, come on.
Yep,
Absolutely.
totally agree. What's your opinion on that, Jams? Big risk here for Parker?
Yeah, it is, mate. Like you already pointed out, he beat Bacoli, who was obviously a very out of shape and short on the ground, Martin Bacoli, but he beat him nevertheless. He ironed him out. He beat Gilles Zhang, he beat Wilder, so he's on a good run. He's on a good trajectory. It's a risk in fighting Wardley because he could just sit around and wait for that Usyk shot. Serhai Lapin, the manager of Usyk, has already said Parker was next. He was going to get the fight. It was going to happen. And the winner of this is going to get the fight. 99% sure. So big things on the line for both these men. I believe Parker, though, believes in himself. He's that kind of guy, isn't he? He's pure heart, pure grit, pure New Zealand warrior, mate. He shies away from no man. He's going in there believing he can knock Fabio Wardley out. And let's see what he does this Saturday night.
Well, the fight breakdown and prediction, I think the philosophy of Wardley being just a puncher is a little bit unfair. I think he showed that he can mix it up against the likes of Fraser Clark and Justice Uni. He showed that Justice Uni was getting the better of it. And I rate Parker a lot higher than Justice Uni. And I think Justice Uni is suspect as well on the whiskers, whereas I think Parker's known for his chin and durability. I feel ultimately Wardley won't be able to outbox Joseph Parker or anything like that. I think he'll make it tough for Joseph Parker, and I think he'll dig in, and I think he'll stick it out. But I think Parker is the better boxer. He'll use his jab and fast hands and keep Wardley off. I'm not sure if Parker will go in for a war and sort of get involved in a Wardley fight. I don't think he'll allow himself to get in that fight, and I think he'll execute a game plan really, really well with Andy Lee, and I think he'll tire Wardley out as well. I mean, if you look at Wardley as well, he was tired against Justice Uni. I thought as the fight was dragging on, he was getting tired, albeit he found that shot, and he's always dangerous. But I don't think he'll find it this time. I think it's about levels, and I think Parker's been in with not a lot bigger punchers. I think Parker's been in with big punchers like Fabio Wardley's got. So does Wardley offer much different than what Parker has already been in with and execute a game plan well against? I don't believe so. So my prediction, which I will say first now, I think that Joseph Parker will grind out a unanimous decision win here. Jams, what's your breakdown and prediction?
Yeah, for me, mate, Joe Parker's been in with, obviously, heavy hitters. He's been with AJ and Dillian White and gone the distance. He lost both, of course. He got ironed out by Joe Joyce, back when Joe Joyce was a big thing before a little bit of CTE set in, by the looks of it. Fabio Wardley, like I said, he's already proved himself against Fraser Clark. But, you know, we're talking Fraser Clark, who was a good Olympian, and then we're talking the likes of AJ, talking the likes of Dillian White, who were top British level when he fought them. You know, he lost, but he wasn't bullied, he wasn't battered, he didn't get stopped. So he can take a punch. Fabio's going to be looking for that one shot, maybe a little bit too much, in my opinion. Like, of course, being British, I want Fabio Wardley to win this fight. I really do want him to win, but I'd love Joe Parker as well. But for me, I just think Joe Parker's going to be a little bit too clever, a little bit too strong. I think Fabio runs out of ideas by the 10th round, and then around 10th or 11th, I think big Joe Parker gets the stoppage.
Oh, do you?
TKO.
You think he'll stop Fabio Wardley?
I do, matey. Yeah, I think he'll be too gassed from trying too hard to land that haymaker, and I think he gets caught. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what I believe.
Yeah, I don't believe Wardley's engine is that brilliant either when he's in a very, very active fight. And I think like Parker will make him miss more than what he's ever missed as well. Like I said, I think it's about levels, and I just see Parker on that different level. I'm looking forward to this one, Neutral. What's your opinion?
We already know where he's going, mate. Fabio.
I think you two are dreaming. Absolutely dreaming. I think Joseph Parker's going to be outboxing Fabio Wardley to that level. I mean, let's start from Joe Joyce. Right? He got absolutely flatlined by a 37-year-old Joe Joyce, he's Olympian. Yeah, he was handy, Commonwealth champion, WBA interim champion. But man, you know, it's Joe Joyce. You're talking about plodders. Now let's go move on to the next plodder. After beating Jack Massey and Faigu Opelu, right? He knocked Opelu out in the first round. Justice Hooney knocked him out on his debut. His debut. And 12 fights later, he's fighting just Fabio Wardley. Parker done his thing with him. Let's talk Simon Keane for the WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight. Oh, come on. These are the gateway belts. Back to the big time. Keane, 3 rounds. You're talking about levels. You were talking about levels, Darren.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, just quickly, I'll pick up on the Joseph Parker one there with Joe Joyce. Obviously, he hadn't had that long with Andy Lee then. Don't you think he just... I'm going on about a game plan and tactics. I believe they will come up with on because of the time they've had together. But don't you think he got the tactics wrong against Joe Joyce and he gassed himself out of his arse trying to knock the juggernaut out?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the tactics were wrong.
Here. I think he'll do the same here. Now, let's move on to Deontay Wilder, who was 39 at the time. Took him the distance. Zhilei Zhang, 40, 300 pound. Took him the distance.
Yeah, I don't believe Parker's that powerful, like massively powerful heavyweight.
He's 252 pound. He'll come in fight night. Big mistake for me. And then another 300 pound in Martin Bakoli. I just feel that this Joseph Parker run is massively overhyped. He's fought 3 times in 3 years. I don't believe. And if I look back at the Bakoli fight, the first round, all right, pretty comfortable. They plodded along. Second round, Bakoli was having the first half of the round, and then that punch in the second half of round 2 put Bakoli down. But Bakoli didn't get into Riyadh until 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's fighting at 10 o'clock at night, the same night.
I agree.
I'm not taking any stock from this with this Joseph Parker hype. His losses have been significant at championship level. Whereas Fabio Wardley, I mean, Joseph Parker domestically and continentally, he's as accomplished as Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley's got the full set. He's moving on. He's got the WBA interim now. I just feel that he is improving his boxing, and I feel that the pace he'll set, Joseph Parker, he's not fighting plodder now.
I agree.
He's got a man on his toes. First fight, he's got a man on his toes in 3 years, Darren. That's why I think this pace thing or this level thing, I don't think it was exist in this fight. And I'm going for an early stoppage for Fabio Wardley, rounds 1 to 5.
Bloody hell. That is a shocker. Look, you did say to me the other day that you're starting to fancy Fabio Wardley for the win, but I didn't think you'd say stoppage in 1 to 5.
Yeah.
So you think Wardley has learned from the Hooney fight? He's learned a lot from that.
Absolutely.
But even though Joseph Parker has been dropped, he's been stopped once against Joe Joyce. He got up from
can knock anyone out at any point.
Well, he got up from an unbelievable shot from Dillian White when he got up in that fight. He got up from 2 good shots from Zhang. So he can be dropped, but his chin's pretty good and pretty solid. But do you believe that Wardley is that much more powerful?
I think he's younger, fitter, taller, stronger, faster. For a start, he's going to be 15, 20 pound lighter than Parker, and Parker's, one of Parker's defeaters was Dillian White, who manages Fabio Wardley. So who's the best man to give him the advice?
Does he still manage Fabio Wardley?
Sure he does, doesn't he?
I don't know if he manages him. I think he's in and around his camp, isn't he?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
He's got down a thing. He's a man.
But obviously they'll still talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Lord, that's a bold prediction. I reckon you get some good odds on that. I bet you've already looked, didn't you?
Fantastic odds. Are we £2.50 on that, darling?
I think if you go Fabio Wardley round 1 to 2, I think you get 11 to 1. Last time I checked.
Tell you what, So
Well,
I
cheeky tenner, isn't it?
definitely. So I'm going UD for Parker. You're going Fabio Wardley 1-5, and Jams, you're going late stoppage for Parker.
Yeah, around 10 to 11, mate. Just yeah. Fabio gasses out like he did Hooney, but can't land that magic shot and gets caught with one of his own.
This will be interesting to see what actually happens here now, because we've got a lot of divided opinions.
I
But
hope I'm wrong.
it's a
I
good
hope I'm
fight.
wrong.
It's a good fight. It is a really, really good heavyweight fight, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we will get on to one of the other fights on the card now, which was supposed to be the chief support was supposed to be Lewis Edmondson versus Ezra Taylor for Lewis Edmondson's British and Commonwealth super light heavyweight titles, which he won, beating Dan Aziz. It was a fight that had been building for a while. There was a nice bit of needle of it. I thought it was a cracker of a fight, in all honesty. I was really looking forward to this one. But then the news broke that Lewis Edmondson's injured his hip in the last part of training camp building up to this fight. The news broke today. In comes Steed Woodall. What an opportunity, first of all, for Steed. Don't you think neutral got a great opportunity for him here? Do you give him much chance as well?
Well, first and foremost, it's unfortunate the Lewis Edmondson title fight's been taken off the table for Ezra. Now that Lewis has gone, and the team have had to bring up a 168-pounder and Steve Woodall for this fight. But I mean, Steve Woodall, he's game as you like, isn't he? You know, he's been reduced to a 6-rounder after the Callum Simpson defeat.
He was training for a 3-rounder on November the 8th.
Yeah, so he's just happy to get the fight at this point. What he can do in the time that he's got to prepare between now and Saturday is another man's business. But I'm not expecting miracles out of Steed here. So if he's game enough and this is a springboard for him, he could well see this as a sort of title grabbing or headline grabbing fight for him and project him back up into the big time. But Ezra Taylor, you got to fancy him. I mean, far too. I don't think he's got a chance in it, really, to be honest. They just needed to get another fighter in there.
8 knockouts in 12 suggests Ezra Cannon Taylor's going to take his head off, to be honest.
I was going to say, the last time we saw Steed on our screens was when he lost to Callum Simpson in Sheffield in 2 rounds, which was on Sky.
Yeah.
Way back in January for the British and Commonwealth titles. That was at super middleweight, as you say. He's now stepped up to light heavy. He had a run out in a 6-rounder recently in September. Not far from me.
171 for that.
Was he 171?
£170, yeah.
Well, I think that was in Cannock as well, not too far from me. 6-rounder, comfortable points win. This is a step up in weight now. However, he comes up against a big punching, strong, powerful Ezra Taylor. And as you said, Jams, 12 fights, 12 wins, 8 KOs. I'll come to you first, Jams. How do you see the fight going? Do you think that Steed Woodall's got any chance?
Right, all due respect to Steve Woodall, stepping up 5 days' notice, you've got to be a tough, brave man to go against the Cannon at such short notice, especially going up in weight. Like I said, he was 171 last time out, so he was warming towards the 175 limit of the light heavyweight division, but he's a super middleweight, let's have it right. He's lost 3 times to Steve Rolls, to Padro McCrory, and to, who was it last time out? Callum Simpson, of course, the European champion. I don't see this ending well for Steed. I do not. I don't want to put him down too bad because he's so brave to go in there, mate. He's got more minerals than probably us 3 put together. But he's going to get knocked out, mate. And he's going to get knocked out badly. And I can see this ending within 3 rounds. Absolutely carnage. Cannon lays him out.
Yeah, you think it'd be that early as well?
I think it'll be very early, mate. I think, it depends what Ezra wants. If Ezra wants to knock him out, I think he'll just pick him apart and just take him. I think he'll take him.
Well, as you mentioned as well, the fighters he's lost to, which was Paddy McCrory, Callum Simpson, Steve Rolls. He beat Lerone Richards, stopped him. He's 24 fights, really good. 24 fights, 20 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. I think to have a chance in this fight, he's going to need to stay out of trouble very, very early on and weather the storm. Because Ezra, as we all know, is very powerful. It's a big ask. But I think he needs to try and frustrate Ezra Taylor.
Yeah, can I just interject one more thing, Daz, before you finish, mate? Sorry to interrupt you, bro, but the thing that's making me think it's going to go early is Ezra's going to be so pissed off that Louis Edmondson's pulled out injured, because he's wanted this fight for so long. He chased him around. He wants this fight. He wanted that British title. He's going to be so mad. And then you've got a smaller guy coming in at late notice. He's just food, mate, for the cannon. He's food. He's ready to be took by an angry, aggressive, bigger man. That's my thinking on the early stuff.
I totally see where you're coming from. But one point I was going to pick up on, like with, albeit the losses, but he has been in with Callum Simpson's, Paddy McCrory. He went the distance with Steve Rolls. Arguably, he does have better names on his record than Ezra Taylor.
Ezra Taylor got Troy Jones, really, hasn't he?
That's what I was going to say. Ezra Taylor hasn't really been in with the names that Steve Woodall's been in with. And that's the only thing that I can sort of like make a case for as regards Steed having a chance. It's just, is Ezra Taylor as good as what we think he is now? He hasn't really got them names on his resume, not just on his record, but on his resume of who he's been in with. I really hope Steed can do this and at least perform with credit. It'd be a huge win. I mean, to go the distance with him and put on a good performance would be a win-win, because obviously the late note is getting opportunities going forward in the future and getting in a position to fight for British titles again in the future at light heavy. But I'm realistic to know it's a huge ask, and I do fancy Ezra Taylor to win the fight. It's just the question marks for me is Ezra Taylor hasn't really been in with that good of names yet. I mean, can you see my point? What I'm saying, neutral with a resume.
I can. However, it's the jump, the step, the power. 168.
Everybody starts somewhere.
I have to agree with James. The manner in which Ezra Taylor dispatches his opponents is nothing short of brutality at a level not many people can cope with, even with good skill like Steve Woodall. He's got the ability to bob and weave, make Ezra miss as much as he can for a couple of rounds, but he won't stop. He won't stop, and he's going to catch him at some point. And I think James is absolutely correct. I want maybe 3 to 5 with the frustration that Ezra might feel. And as James said, he's pissed, man.
He will be. Yeah, he definitely will be.
He'll be looking with inglorious, devastating fashion to send a message out to Edmondson. You're not going to run. You can run, but you can't hide.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see why you're saying that. I mean, the only thing I will say is Ezra Taylor, he does make big statements, but he couldn't do it with Troy Jones last time, and that was his sort of little step up as it goes by. That's my doubt with Ezra Taylor. As he's going through the levels, will he be able to do what he does well? It's a shame we didn't get the Edmondson-Ezra Taylor fight. We do need to see that in the future. It was building up lovely, and there was a nice bit of needle with it, but fair fucks to Steve Woodall for stepping up and taking this fight, because, you know, some people could look at this, is it sort of like lambs to the slaughter a little bit with what Ezra Taylor brings. So I would probably go Ezra Taylor for a stoppage. I think Steed will stick around for a while, but I think like the short notice will definitely not help him either. So what round are you going, Jams? 1 to 3?
I'm thinking early, mate. Yeah, between 1 and 3, I'll say.
And neutral, you're going 3 to 5?
Yeah, 3 to 5, 3 6, plus 6.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go a little bit later than that. I think it could be 6 to 8, something like that. I think Steed will make Ezra miss for a while, but I do think he'll find the target in the end. But I'm rooting for Steed Woodall. I'd love him to do it. And like I say, fair play to him stepping in. He's as ballsy as they come. And he's not saving the card as such, but he's saving, you know, Ezra Taylor getting some action, isn't he?
He's saving face for Greensbury.
Keeping it going, keeping the card going, because without that fight, it's even weaker, and it's a pretty weak card as we stand as a pay-per-view.
Absolutely, it is. And let's hope the main event, Parker versus Wardley, can save a pretty dire card. We can all definitely agree on that. Right, I think that draws this show to a conclusion. Thanks to everyone that's watched. If you can all like, subscribe. I've had lots of new subscribers again lately. Thanks to everyone that supports the channel. And first of all, Mr. Neutral, Red Corner Boxing, thanks for coming on once again.
Yeah, you're welcome, mate. I look forward to the comments, and I will be in there answering every single one of you. Fabio Wardley is going to be the next British undisputed champion. No, I didn't mean that. No, I didn't mean two-time interim champion, just like David Benavidez was.
I'll let you answer him in the comments. And thanks as well. You will. Thanks, Jams, and once again, Red Corner Boxing, for your time to come on my show. Really appreciate it, mate.
Absolute pleasure, Darren, mate. Always welcome to come on Satellite Boxing. One of my favourite channels when we're not doing lives ourselves. We always check out your stuff, mate. You're one of the good ones.
Thanks, guys. And I'll do my best to check out all yours and come on as many shows as I can. And are you going to be doing watch-alongs for this show?
We are.
I'm assuming we will. Yeah, I'll cave and I'll pay 25 quid to do it. I will. Yeah, I can't help myself in case I miss something great. Something great could happen and I'm not live. I will never forgive myself. So yes, I will.
And I'm going to get his login details.
Well, there's your cue there. Don't pay for the pay-per-view. Get on Red Corner Boxing and watch the live watch-alongs.
There you go.
There we go.
Maybe you could join us, Darren, for the watch-along of the main event if you're free.
Do.
I would, but I might do. But I'm at my friend's bar having a few jars.
Fair play. Don't blame you, mate. God bless.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cheers, Darren.